You find yourself looking at a window, and through that window there is a shadowy place that is lacking in substance. You are watching the Miscellaneous Mike Show. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Miscellaneous Mike Show. We got just a smidge off track last time with we were meant to be looking at political compasses, and instead of that we ended up going on a wild old goose chase trying to find out whether the Nazis were left or right wing, because honestly everyone seems to be a little bit confused about that these days. So anyway, we went on an adventure. We ended up finding, a couple of fun things, and yeah. But anyway, we need to fix that mistake. We need to get back on track, and so today's episode is going to be about the difference between left and right, and sort of political choices that you need to make. So, anyway, let's see. This here is a good way of looking at it. Left, right. Simple enough, everyone understands that. But as we were saying yesterday, the difference between left and right, there's a little bit more to it. So what you've got here is they've added another dimension to it. It's no longer just the x-axis of left and right. They've now turned left and right into the economic axis of whether you are, capitalist or socialist. They've added a y-axis, and that's for authoritarianism. So now you have up at the top authoritarian and down at the bottom libertarian. Big oppressive government, small liberal government. Which is all well and good. I mean, what have we got down here? There we are. What they've done is they've tried to map on, different political ideologies onto that map, and hey, look at that. National Socialism on the left. Authoritarian, but on the left. Right next to communism, just above socialism. Right there. Nazis are on the left. Well done, you have placed it in the correct spot. But, as good as this is, having things laid out on those two axes, and you get this nice, colourful little thing going on here, it's still not perfect. It's not even close to perfect, actually. There's still a lot of fairly major, errors that you've got in here. One I would point out, conservatism, fairly authoritarian, a little bit on the right. Okay, fair enough. What's its next door neighbour? Progressivism. Conservatism and progressivism being next door neighbours. That doesn't quite make sense to me. Those two shouldn't be next door neighbours. They're like polar opposites. So I suppose the issue we have here is that there isn't two axes. It's not two axes. It's at least three. So let's go. Financial policy. We have the left option. Left. Socialist. And we have the right-wing option, which is going to be capitalist. Left and right. We can all pretty much agree on that one, I think. And so they've put in this second one, which is for, I don't know, is that government? But that'll do for government. So we have authoritarian. And then on the other side, you have libertarian. And I suppose you can also call that big government versus small government. And then if we add in these two here, conservatism and progressivism, because that there, you've got your financial policy, you've got your social policy. I don't know what to call the difference between conservatism and progressivism, like cultural policy, maybe, but conservatism, conserve versus progress. So that's your traditionalism versus revolution. Yes, the revolution. We can't forget that, you know. Because while we've got communism here. Mother Russia. Yeah. Couldn't help that. I mean, I've got a soundboard on there, and if you've got the buttons, you might as well use them. So yeah, now we don't have just two axes to work on. We have three. But, here's the but. Up here, nationalism. This has mapped out nationalism as being inherently one of the most authoritarian type of governmental systems, right next to totalitarianism. Now, totalitarianism, yes, that's strictly authoritarian, but nationalism, not necessarily. Nationalism is that's a fourth axis, because you can add nationalism to a lot of these other things. You can have national progressivism. Like you can have people who believe that the role of the state is to protect people's rights, and that's it. Nothing but making sure that your rights are protected. You'd be incredibly nationalistic. You'd be in favour of having an army, a police force, and that would be about it. Complete laissez-faire capitalists, like strongly nationalistic, incredibly high on freedom though, because they'd see a strong nation as being inherent to protecting people's individual rights and liberties. I mean, like, look at how the US was originally made to be. Like, their constitution has a lot of that in there. Like, they want the rights of people protected, a very strong nation, but not much direct influence on people's lives. So I think putting nationalism all the way up there at the top, with these strong authoritarian regimes, it doesn't quite sit right with me. So let's make another one, which I suppose we can make this the world. This is Australia. A bit of ta-da! That's the world. So you can have globalism, nationalism, four axes. I reckon that's a hell of a lot better than just looking at it on two, because it gives people a lot more choice. You can mix and match your policies. You can be a socialist who wants a really strong state. You want a strong, civic culture. You want to have a country with clearly defined borders, and you want that country to look after everyone inside and give them money. You can want them to do that in a very authoritarian way. You can want them to do that in a very libertarian way. I'm not sure how you're going to collect the money without that, but yeah. You can be very conservative and nationalistic. You can be very progressive and nationalistic. You can want a country that's all about, creating new ideas and, take pride in having your country as the most progressive country in the world. Sweden. Yeah, Canada. Yeah, sorry, bad cough. It's not good for streaming, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, like, I think having 4 axes is a hell of a lot better than just looking at it on a single left or right sort of scale. What do you guys think? I reckon it works. I reckon looking at that there, socialists, capitalists, big government, small government, conservatives, progressives, globalists and nationalists. I reckon if you start looking at everything on those 4 factors rather than just trying to boil everything down to 1, you're going to get a much better way of looking at the world. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching Miscellaneous Mike, and I hope to see you in the next episode. See you later.